Hello world, welcome to Sales Remastered. My name is Daniel and I'm the founder of Sales Remastered. I'm just sharing with you the experience that I just had. I just got done shooting the intro video to this channel. But besides YouTube, you're also going to find Sales Remastered on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Of course, with each sales channel, or I should say social channel and platform, you'll find different sales content. Of course, they're a little bit more tailored to the predominant audience, but nonetheless, there's a lot of good sales advice that's found on each platform. And so I invite you to check out those channels and look for Sales Remastered. Take a glimpse at the content that's being released. And if you find it useful, please support the hustle and shadow me, follow me, like what you find useful. But more importantly, with regards to this video and anything that I publish, no matter on what social platform, please comment. I will be sure to read and comment back and like the feedback that you give. If there's anything that you would like me to cover or show within one of the videos to get my point of view on what strategy would be best, feel free to comment and send me a message directly. You can send me a message directly again on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube. So there's many ways to reach me. Now you're probably asking, well, why would I want to reach you, Daniel? Well, I have over 2 decades of experience in sales. As a matter of fact, it's when I say that, it's weird to say because I'm only 36, but I've been selling, I've been hustling for as long as I can remember. As I was growing up, my father worked as a card dealer, meaning that he worked in a casino and he dealt cards. He dealt cards for blackjack in a casino that's in Los Angeles. And so I was born and raised in Los Angeles, and currently right now I reside in Orange County, South Orange County. Not too many people make it out of LA County to move on up to South Orange County. So I think that that's a milestone that I'm very proud of. But along the way in growing up, needless to say, I didn't necessarily have too many adult figures around. And so I before internet, before the iPad and all these social media streams, before internet was so easily available, I had nothing but just entertainment of playing outside and traveling. Like I recall being 10, 11 years old, and I was at least 5 zip codes away from my house, and that's just because I didn't necessarily have the monitoring that any normal child would have. My father actually chose to pass me to different family members, simply because maybe he just didn't want the responsibility, or maybe I reminded him of my mother who had passed when I was a year and a half. She passed away from breast cancer. So I don't know why he chose to go that route of passing his youngest child, by the way, on to family members. Any family member that was willing to take me in as a favor for him. And along the way, I've had the chance to experience a lot of different things. I've experienced a lot of different environments, good, bad, ugly, and I've survived and learned a skill of adapting. And I think that in itself is what makes me great at sales, is that I'm able to adapt. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why I'm making this brand, this channel, is because I'm fed up of how a majority of sales training that's being provided is being given by people without experience in actual closing sales. If you notice, and you could think back or think currently of your own sales training that you're being given by your employer, not too much of it is on strategy. A majority of the sales training that you receive right now is about your product and how your company would like the information prepared for operations, right? And what I'm doing is I'm offering the strategy side. So what you're currently not receiving in sales training, like the how-to and the wordplay and how do I, what do I say to this borrower or this client or this prospect that says this, and I've already spent 45 minutes in trying to generate the sale. How can I be better? And so there's a lot of sales content that's available, of course, online, but I'm very confident that not too many are backed up with the same experience. And so here we go. With my experience of over 20 years, I've done sales both face-to-face, I've done sales over the phone, I've done sales by door-to-door knocking, and I've excelled in every single niche because, again, of my experience and ability to adapt to the surrounding, understanding body language, understanding tone. You have to keep in mind, as I moved around as a kid, I was, I always understood that one wrong move, I could be kicked out. And because I didn't live with my dad, I didn't live with my parents, I lived in a home with family nonetheless, but was reminded that it was a favor for my dad. So anywhere I lived, I was constantly reminded, especially when I got in trouble, that I can easily get kicked out. I can easily go back, to another family member. And I honestly, as a kid, you don't want to be kicked out. One thing that you do not want as a kid is to be neglected, is to not be given attention or not be wanted. And so naturally, as growing up, I learned how to read body language. I learned how to read the energy that's in a room. I learned how to assess my environment to survive, because as a child, growing up in LA County, there's some real bad influences, real bad areas, and I was out until about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, roaming the streets as a child in LA County. And I did this because, number one, my dad's wife at the time, which was my stepmom, she was just an evil bitch, just constantly fucking with me. And so I never went home because she would be home. She actually left at night to go to work, and the time that she would leave to go to work was at 9 o'clock. And so I'd literally hang out in the streets until about 9:30 so I can come home and she wouldn't be there. My dad wouldn't get home from work until about 12 a.m., so about midnight. And of course I'd have school the next day, so I'd be asleep already. And the only time that I ever really saw my dad was really the weekends. And on the weekends I was never really home. So I lived with my dad, but I didn't really see him. And so the reason why I'm sharing this with you is I'm not asking for your pity or to feel sorry for me. What I'm sharing with you is that sales, negotiation, and adapting, that's in my DNA. I've always sold myself not only to prospects, but to family members on reasons as to why I should continue living there. And so fast forward to today, living in Southern California, I graduated with a GED, no college background, no degree. And I currently right now reside again in South Orange County, California. I own a house, I have 2 cars, my wife is a homemaker, I have 3 children, and I'm doing the absolute most that I can. I'm trying to be the best that I can. And so even though I had that experience growing up, I want to tell my dad, thank you so much for everything that he's done, even though it wasn't traditional to what a dad is supposed to do. I'm thankful because I know what not to do. I understand how important it is for a child to have a father in their life, and for a child to have security in their life. I understand the importance of making sure a child understands that they have a home, and they're not going to get kicked out. No matter, if they're bad, they're not going to be threatened that they're going to go move somewhere else, or they're going to get booted out of the house. So in those ways, I appreciate the lessons that I learned, because it's helped me improve. But more importantly, the skill sets that I learned as I was growing up and kind of just being forced in the situation has enabled me to be very powerful at the skill that I do every day, which is selling. And I hope to share my experience with you, because along the way, as I went from the ghetto to corporate America, I again took the knowledge that I had with respect to adapting and monitoring and assessing the environment, to survive. And the way that I did that was I naturally gravitated to the strongest that were in the room, strongest on the sales floor, strongest within my environment, and I simply followed, studied, and basically mimicked the actions and processes that they put forth. And I was always the youngest. I was always the youngest one in the crowd that excelled the fastest. So I got attention, and I got attention from the right mentors. So I'm blessed in many ways, and I think that's my mom looking out for me from above and putting me in these situations where at the time it may not have seemed pleasant, it may have seemed like a struggle, but everything that I've went through has given me the ability to gain this momentum and this experience that not too many have. And so I'm fortunate. I'm recognizing this gift, and I want to give it as a gift and share it with the world. And so that's what I plan to do here on Sales Remastered. And I hope that you find this content useful. I hope that you use this content to provide for your family, to provide for yourself. I hope that you use this content so that your family is not ever in fear of going without. I want you to gain the upper hand. If you have the hustle, I'll give you the experience, and naturally you'll find the success. So please consider following Sales Remastered. Again, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook as well as Twitter. I'll leave links in my About section as well as below so that it's very easy to find. And I hope that this message finds you well, and to all the closers and go-getters and anyone out there who's striving and working hard to get your share, I salute you. Thank you for keeping me on my toes. If you're new at sales or seasoned veteran at sales, I really do believe you're going to appreciate this content. So I'm excited for you. So plenty more to come. Have a great day.